Most people believe their entire day is decided by discipline, motivation, or how hard they work. But neuroscience shows something very different. Your entire day is largely decided in the first hour after you wake up. The first 60 to 90 minutes of your morning is when your brain is in the most programmable state it will be in all day. In this window, your brain is slowly transitioning from the deep sleep frequencies, known as theta and alpha waves, into the fully alert beta state. And during this transition, your brain is extremely sensitive to whatever you feed it. The problem is, most people unknowingly waste this powerful window. Before we go deeper, if you're someone who wants to improve your mindset, build better habits, and unlock your full potential, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now, because every week we share powerful ideas that can genuinely change the way you think and live. Today, I want to walk you through 6 simple, science-based morning habits that can completely change the way your brain operates throughout the day. These habits together take about 45 minutes, and each one has a clear biological reason why it works. When you understand the science behind it, the routine becomes much easier to stick to, because you're not forcing yourself through willpower alone. You're simply aligning with how your brain naturally functions. Let's start with the first habit, and it may be the most controversial one. The first thing you need to stop doing in the morning is hitting the snooze button. It might feel harmless, but from a neurological perspective, it actually confuses your brain. When your alarm goes off, your brain is usually finishing the final stage of a sleep cycle, often REM sleep, which is critical for emotional processing and memory consolidation. When you hit snooze and fall back asleep for a few minutes, your brain begins a completely new sleep cycle that it cannot finish. That creates what scientists call sleep inertia, the groggy mental fog that can last for hours after waking up. Instead of snoozing, try something unusual but incredibly powerful. Record a short voice note for yourself before going to sleep. Imagine it's the future version of you speaking from 6 months ahead, reminding you why waking up matters. When you hear your own voice first thing in the morning, it interrupts your autopilot. Your brain expects a generic alarm sound, but hearing your own voice triggers curiosity and awareness. Instead of waking up feeling forced, you wake up feeling intentional. It's a small change, but small signals can create powerful habits over time. The second habit is one of the most powerful things you can do for your brain, and it costs absolutely nothing. Get sunlight into your eyes within the first hour after waking up. Natural sunlight sends a signal to a specific region in your brain that acts as your internal clock. This signal tells your body that the day has begun, triggering a healthy release of cortisol that increases alertness and energy. Now, cortisol often gets labeled as the stress hormone, but the morning cortisol response is actually essential for feeling awake and focused. Morning sunlight also starts the countdown for melatonin production later at night. In other words, exposing yourself to sunlight early in the day doesn't just help you wake up better, it also helps you sleep better at night. Think of it as programming your body's entire 24-hour rhythm with one simple action. Even a short walk outside or standing near natural light for a few minutes can make a noticeable difference in your mood and energy levels. The third habit introduces a brief moment of controlled discomfort that can dramatically increase your alertness. At the end of your normal shower, switch the water to cold for about 60 to 90 seconds. Cold exposure activates your nervous system and triggers the release of powerful neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and adrenaline. These chemicals instantly increase focus and alertness, almost like a natural stimulant. But what's even more interesting is what happens afterward. Studies show that brief cold exposure can actually lower stress levels later in the day. By exposing yourself to a short burst of discomfort in a controlled environment, you train your nervous system to handle stress more efficiently. Over time, your body becomes less reactive to everyday challenges. In simple terms, you're teaching your brain that discomfort is not something to avoid, but something you can handle. The fourth habit is movement, but not the kind most people imagine. Many people believe they need a full workout in the morning to feel productive, but science suggests something much simpler can be incredibly effective. Just 7 minutes of body movement can activate several powerful processes in your brain. Exercise increases blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making, focus, and self-control. It also releases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, often called brain fertilizer, which helps neurons grow and form stronger connections. Movement also releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin, the chemical trio responsible for motivation, happiness, and emotional stability. This means even a short burst of movement like push-ups, squats, or jumping jacks can significantly improve your mental clarity for the next several hours. The goal is not perfection. The goal is simply telling your brain that the day has officially begun. The fifth habit may sound simple, but it has decades of psychological research behind it. Spend 5 to 10 minutes writing down your thoughts in a journal. Not perfectly written sentences, not something impressive, just your raw thoughts. Psychologists have discovered that writing about your thoughts and emotions helps reduce mental clutter and lowers stress hormones in the body. When you translate your thoughts into words, your brain processes emotions more effectively. Finally, the sixth habit might be the most difficult one in today's world. Avoid checking your phone during the first hour after waking up. This might seem like a small change, but it has a huge impact on your mental state. Social media notifications, messages, and emails all trigger tiny bursts of dopamine in your brain. These bursts train your brain to seek constant stimulation and distraction. When you start your day by reacting to notifications, you're allowing other people's priorities to control your attention. But when you delay that stimulation and instead focus on your own routine, you maintain control over your mindset. You're setting the tone for the day rather than letting the world decide it for you. Here's the important thing to remember. You don't need to start all 6 habits tomorrow. Real transformation doesn't happen through perfection. It happens through consistency. Choose one habit that feels manageable and start there. Once it becomes natural, add another. Over time, these small changes compound into something powerful. Because the truth is this, your mornings don't just start your day. They shape your mindset, your energy, and your decisions for everything that follows. When you take control of your morning, you begin to take control of your life. And before you go, I want to ask you something. Which one of these habits do you think will make the biggest difference in your morning routine? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, share it with someone who might need a better start to their day. Remember, the life you want is not built in one giant decision. It's built in small choices repeated every single morning.